Hey guys, it's George here from Archee Drums, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace your snare wires. And also guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do now is just take the snare wires off. So flip the snare drum upside down, and we're going to simply just unscrew these two little lugs here and remove the string which attaches to the snare wires themselves. Okay, simply just remove the strings, pull them up through the gap, and then you're all done. Do the same on the other side, and then just remove the strings. Okay, so at this point now, obviously it would be a good time to either change your resonant head if you wanted to. I actually only changed this yesterday, so I'm happy with that. I'm now going to put on the new snare wires. So first thing you want to do is just take your string, or you can get a nylon plastic sort of string as well. You can get it from your local music shop, or you can just use a bit of string if you've got some lying around. What I like to do is just tie a knot in the end of each string, like so. So then just simply take the snare wires, and you'll see that there's little ridges underneath the holes here. You actually want to go from, put the string from underneath the ridge first, through the hole, over the top, and then back down through this hole. Okay, so there's one side done guys, and now I'm going to do the exact same on the other side of the snare wires. So just flip them around and do the exact same thing. You might find it a bit easier to actually tie the knots in the string after you put it through. Okay, so now we're left with the snare wires, the strings coming through with little knots at the end of them. So the next stage is actually quite important, and this is something that I've made a mistake in the past of doing. Flip the drum to the original state again, and with most drums you'll have something which tightens and loosens the snare wires when the snare wires are attached. Now you always want to make sure this is quite loose when you put the snare wires on. If you tighten this fully and put the snare wires on, that's as tight as the wires can possibly go, and it's really hard to get them really tight to the drum when you do that. Whereas if you put them on when it's quite loose, you put your snare wires on, and then you can tighten them once it's already on, and it makes it even tighter and snappier. Flip the snare drum back upside down now and put these wires on. Okay, so what I like to do is just simply put these bits of string through the gap here. Obviously if you do change your resonant head, make sure that you line your hoop back up with the snare fixings. And just take a good look and make sure that the snare wire is nice and evenly either side. And then what I'm going to do now is just make sure these strings are equal distant pretty much. I'm going to wrap them underneath here. So I'm just going to put it through the little wedge which this little metal plate sits on. I'm going to tighten that one up and then get the other one in. Okay, so now we have our first two wires attached to the snare holder, and we're now looking pretty good. So we've got a little bit of a gap between the hoop and the start of the snare wires, and it's pretty much the exact same distance as the other side as well. So now I just need to put these two wires through the cutaways, and then with this one you want to try and get these nice and tight guys. So what I like to do is just pull both of the wires like so, get into a decent place, and then just start tightening them slowly, just bit by bit. And I'm pulling quite tight on the wire now. I'm really trying to stretch it as much as I can. Alright guys, so there we have it. The snare wires are attached, we're good to go. What I'll do now is just simply put it back on the drum kit, and I'll just play around with the tightness of the snare wires by using the mechanism on the side, and then you're pretty much good to go. So guys, hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.